welcome back with another trip with Iran Travel Guide. We are here sitting in a train which goes from Tehran to Mashhad, which is located in the northeast of Iran.
Yeah, we had a chance to look around Tehran a little bit in the south. Very interesting area with the bazaars and the older city there. And from that, going from this environment all the way to here, it's going to take only 10 hours, 12 hours. It's an overnight train, which means we're going to be sleeping here. We've got our very comfortable beds here and above. Yeah. Which one do you want?
Oh, I prefer to go up. Which one?
We can fight for it later. Yeah.
But what we want to talk to you about is traveling and how to travel. Many travelers, when they want to travel, the most important thing for them is like how, with what. Yeah. About Iran, there are different ways of traveling. As you might know, you can take buses, you can take planes, there are flights available everywhere, there are shared taxis and everything. But one thing which I know like the real travelers prefer to try is trains.
Trains in Iran are very good, but trains as a journey type are great because you get to see the landscape changing. You're not strapped into your seats like you would be in a car or a taxi, and you don't have to worry about either the expense or indeed the high pressure of an aeroplane situation. So it's really nice to be able to see here, and I'm looking forward to seeing the sun coming up on a totally different landscape as we come into Mashhad in the morning.
And another thing about trains which I love is just to meet other people who are traveling in the train. You can talk, especially if you're in a different country and you want to talk to people. And here people, as soon as they realize you're a foreigner, they just want to talk to you. So it's going to be a very interesting experience.
Yeah, the people here are always very friendly and sharing food, sharing stories, trading sort of little bits of information for travelers. So it's a great way to meet people, and much more so than some of the other ways of travel.
But about the railway of Iran in general, not only this train, we have to tell you that the railway of Iran is quite developed. There are trains which goes to different cities. For example, you can go to main cities like Kerman, Isfahan, Shiraz, Tabriz, Yazd,
as well as Mashhad.
and Mashhad, of course.
Yes, so it's very well connected, and there are major trains running to different places, both day trains and sleeper trains like the ones we're on, where you can get an overnight bunk. One thing also to mention is that Iran's travel network doesn't just cover the country. It's also connected via Tabriz to Turkey, and from Turkey, from Istanbul to Europe. So you can get a train direct from Tehran or from Tabriz to Istanbul and be on the Bosphorus from the center of Iran in just a few days.
Less than a few days, just like a day, a couple of days, But another thing which I wanted to tell you, it's about how cheap the trains are in Iran. It might be a bit surprising, but you have to believe it, because trains in Iran are really cheap compared to like different prices in different countries, and the quality of course is really good. We are not in like the first class train right now. We are just sitting in a normal coupe, or as we call it,
cabin,
cabin, and it's very well priced, and it's very nice, and it's very comfortable, as you said. It's very clean.
Yeah, absolutely. The service is great, and it's very sort of hassle-free experience. One of the good things about trains in Iran is, as I said, getting to see the landscape, but also the fact that you can sleep and wake up in a new city. Take some of the hassle out of travel, which is great. I mean, if you've only got a short time in Iran, which hopefully you don't, then flying around might be a better option, but it's going to be a bit more expensive. But getting a train really allows you to soak in the experience, get a deeper experience, and understand more about this country which you're visiting.
ask you actually, like, this is his first time being on a train in Iran.
It is, yeah.
So I just want to see, in your point of view, how the train here is compared to like other countries.
Well, I mean, we've been on trains ourselves in
before,
various
yeah.
different countries, and there's been some amazing train journeys which I've taken in my time, both across Europe, in India and Asia, as well as North America. And this sort of train, it's really modern, really comfortable. There's plenty of amenities and services here, which is great. But you kind of get that cultural experience as well, which is that, you know, meeting other people, having a good time, and so it's a good mix of comfort and culture.
Yes, and I think we're getting close to another city because the train's slowly going to stop.
Mm-hmm.
So be with us, we're gonna take you around, show you some more, so stay tuned.
Yeah, Mashhad's going to be great. We're looking forward to it. Hope you are as well. So let's get there and see what it's like.
Thank you. You wanna eat some
Yeah, absolutely.
cherries? Hi, welcome back to Iran Travel Guide. We are here today with Stuart Denison, my husband, and with Mr. Qasemi, who's an expert from Iran Cultural, Heritage, Handicraft and Tourism Organization. And we're going to talk about Iran's attractions because we have seen a lot of sites. We know that Iran has a lot of history. But my husband is very curious that what does this country has to offer to tourism apart from this history. So I'm getting a help from Mr. Qasemi to maybe be able to give a good answer to my husband. So Mr. Qasemi, what other attraction this country has to offer to tourists?
ایران به خاطر موقعیت جغرافیایی که داره این امکان رو برای تمامی بازدیدکنندگان و گردشگران ایجاد میکنه که در یک زمان واحد.
So Iran, because of the geographical situation, Iran is called the country of 4 seasons. You can have 4 different seasons at the same time in this country. For example, you can go to Ardabil and go to the skiing resort and do the skiing in the country.
You can go skiing here?
Of course you can go skiing.
Even now?
Yeah, even now you can go skiing. Now you can go skiing in the country, in the north. And at the same time, you can, at the same day, you can just take a bus for 45 minutes and go to one of the Caspian Sea beaches and swim or do the sports which you can, like jet skiing or water sports, all the water sports. So you can have all these things at the moment together.
Sounds very good.
این امکان باز هم وجود داره که خیلی از شهرها به گونه‌ای قرار گرفتن در منطقه جغرافیایی که به فاصله چندین دقیقه شما در داخل یک شهر حتی میتونید موقعیت‌های مختلف جغرافیایی رو تجربه کنید. ما شهری رو داریم مثل کاشان.
So in Iran, you can have, as we said, as we talked before, we can have different climates at the same time. And these differences between the temperature from different cities, doesn't certainly mean that you have to travel a long distance to go to a different temperature or different climate. It is not exactly like that. Actually, there are cities that maybe the distance between the city is less than an hour. So you can take a taxi or a bus in less than an hour, go to a different city and experience a totally different climate. In Iran, we have a concept of Yeylaq and Qishlaq, which means migration. For example, in summer on a hot day, for a weekend, people just 45 minutes and go to another city with experiencing totally different temperature. Or in the winter, they migrate or go for a weekend or just for a couple of days to another city which has warm areas. Yeah.
So there's really a huge variety of different things to be done here, both in terms of activities, cultural sites we know, and in terms of weather as well.
Exactly. Like in south of Iran, in the islands in south, you can have any types of water sports, any types of like enjoyment, swimming, you know, and you can use that and at the same time go to the north and enjoy very cool climate. Yeah, and even like the beach sport, like beach football or volleyball. There are places which is made for not only for tourists, of course, for people, for locals also, but you can also come and enjoy that.
Great.
And you can go skiing because I know he loves skiing, but he wouldn't believe me that there's skiing.
No, absolutely. I mean, I know there are mountains, we've been to some, but there was no snow there at that time. So it's great to know that there are this huge variety of sports that we can do.
Exactly.
جایی رو بهت نشون میدم که با هم دیگه بریم اسکی بکنیم.
They're gonna go skiing together. So what about me?
We'll leave you at home.
Oh, okay. Thank you for being with us and join us and follow us with Iran Travel Guide.
Hello everybody, I am Kermit from China. That is my first time in Iran and it's my second time in Mashhad. It feels very good.
Welcome to Iran.
Thank you so much.
Yes, so you've been here a few times.
Yes, several times.
So you've been here for business, I understand.
Yes, that's right.
But also you've had a chance to see some tourist sites, experience the culture.
Yes, together with my customer and my technician, we see some sightseeing in Tehran mainly.
Okay, great.
Yes, that's right.
So where, of the places you have visited, where is your favorite so far?
Like we have visited Azadi Tower and some, I don't know the name exactly, but some museums, some palace there. But the palace is very impressed. It's very beautiful. The trees, the snow mountain, they impress me so much. And in Mashhad, I didn't go to any sightseeing yet. I hope I can have the opportunity to do that in the future.
Okay.
Great.
Sure.
And one of the things we've talked about in this program a lot is accommodation, hotels.
Yes.
For a business traveler, sort of a business tourist, how do you find the hotels, the accommodation, the services?
Actually, I have lived in several hotels in Iran, like in Isfahan, in Tabriz, in Tehran, in Mashhad. But I think the hotel in Tehran is better, but there is some shortage there because sometimes you cannot find enough rooms. You have to book in advance so much, and that's the reason that we have, when we prepare the business trip, then we have to book the ticket and the hotel rooms in advance so many days.
Thank you for your time. And if for the last thing, if we ask you to this camera, give us one last sentence or advice to the people who are watching this, what would that be?
Thank you so much for all of the Iranian people's hospitality to me, and I will come in the future for so many times. I will see you. I hope the very, very tight cooperation between Chinese and also Iranians.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thank you for taking
See you again.
the time to talk
Thank
to us.
you.
Thank you so much.
We'll be back with you
Okay.
later.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I sent my soul through the invisible, some letter of that afterlife to spell, and by my soul returned to me, and answered, I myself am heaven and hell.
We are here in the city of Neyshabur, in northeast of Iran, and where we're standing right now is the mausoleum and the resting place of Hakim Omar Khayyam, the very famous poet of Iran. No one could influence the people's mind and body as much as Khayyam did.
Yes, Khayyam talks about immortality as well as impermanence, life, death, and the duty we have to enjoy life and make the most of it now.
He was not famous as a poet during his own time. After his death all his poetry got published.
Yes, in his own time, he was a follower of Avicenna or Ibn Sina, and he was a geologer, a geographer, cartographer, philosopher, as well as a mathematician.
All the people of this country know his poetry and know his character. He's been always mentioned as a person who tells others to live their time and enjoy the life.
Yes, not to put blame on things that can't be helped, but instead to make the most of it and really just to take pleasure out of every moment.
It's not only Iran that knows Khayyam. Khayyam is famous in the whole world. I'm sure you've heard about him. His poetry was translated to English by Edward Fitzgerald, who is a very famous, who had a lot of research on Khayyam's poetry.
Yes, Persian poetry started to influence it because of his translation, and now Khayyam is known very well throughout the Western world as well as in Iran.
His mausoleum is placed in a garden, a beautiful garden which is perfectly done. And in the center of the garden is his grave. As you can see, the monument around his grave is done beautifully. It's in the shape of diamonds, which has been designed by Khayyam Rubaiyat, or his poetry, written in Persian script.
Yes, the monument here has stood for most of the last century and has the inscriptions of his poetry on it, but a very simple, understated monument for someone who didn't believe in showing off, who didn't believe in grandeur, didn't sort of buy into the court life of everything being very ornate. Simplicity and speaking from the heart to the bodies and souls of people was what he was so good at and why he is so famous and so well remembered today.
We're going to go to his grave, show our respect and say hello. Be with us. is also
This is
very
nice.
beautiful.
Heaven, but the vision of fulfilled desire, and hell, the shadow of a soul on fire, cast on the darkness into which ourselves, so late emerged from, shall so soon expire.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful to show how he's playing with the definition which we have in our mind. The heaven, the hell, the life, death.
Where is it? And then I think one last one about his grave, which is
70,
perfect.
yeah, this is...
This is a poem, yeah.
This is, I'm going to read the Farsi one first.
Okay.
چندان بخورم شراب کین بوی شراب آید ز تراب چون شوم زیر تراب تا بر سر خاک من رسد مخموری از بوی شراب من شود مست و خراب.
So he wrote this about his own grave. He was no stranger, not squeamish at all about his own death. He was very aware that he had come into being and he would pass away, like we all must. And this formed a central theme of it. So this poem is written about his grave, and there's no better place to recite it. That even my buried ashes, such a snare of perfume, shall fling up into the air, as not a true believer passing by, but shall be overtaken unaware. So thank you for being with us for this. It's been a real privilege, a pleasure to be here in front of Khayyam's grave with him, with you, all together, and have the chance to really pay homage to someone who we both admire and respect so greatly.
So thank you. I really hope you liked this part of the Iran Travel Guide. You should come here. You should get to know Khayyam. You should get to know all the Iranian poets. Iran is the land of literature. Iran is the land of poetry. So you must know they are global and they belong to the world, not only us.